So, did you guys get chance to create AWS login?
Yeah, I was trying to do that, but it is asking for the card details. Is it mandatory that we have to give the card details and then only
Uh,
log?
yes, it will ask for card details, but one thing is sure, they won't auto debit anything. Means in the beginning, I don't know about there, but in India they will deduct 2 rupees as something.
Yeah, it is
Okay,
showing it, they'll deduct $1 here.
yeah,
And
okay. Then $1.
yeah,
That's all. I mean, the bill they won't auto debit.
okay. Okay, I'll
But
do it.
but this $1 or $2, I don't know what it is showing there. But in India it shows 2 rupees or something.
Okay.
So that is only one time. I mean, even if you use lifelong this account, it's only one time. And don't worry, it won't auto debit any amount. I mean, at the time of bill or something. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. Whereas in Azure, it will auto debit the that month expenses from the card, but not in AWS.
Because I tried Azure also previously when I was in my master's, and I got like $100 as free when I was logged in with my student ID. So
Yeah.
here, do you know if we have any sort of chance like that?
No, this is also same. But that actually Azure is only free for 1 month. Okay. And
Yes,
because
right.
you had a student ID, you got 1 year. Okay. But
Mm-hmm.
AWS is free for 1 year for anyone.
Yeah.
Even Azure will deduct that I think $1 or something.
Yes, yes.
So that is same. In fact, compared to Azure, AWS is giving more time. For student only, Azure will give for that 1 year.
Yeah, right. It's only for students.
Mm. But here everyone is getting 1 year.
Yeah, I'll do it now.
Yeah. Okay. So yesterday we we have gone through some of the introduction on AWS. Today we will jump right into IAM section. IAM is Identity and Access Management. In the IAM section, you can see on the left hand side user groups, users, roles, policies. These four are very, very important. It's not like we are using it now. Okay.
Sorry to
Throughout.
interrupt. You're
Can you
not
share your
sharing your
screen?
screen. We
Oh,
don't see
sorry,
your
sorry,
screen.
sorry. That's what I'm thinking. Something I did not do, kind of. No, sorry. Hope you can see screen. No?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, you can see, right?
Yes.
So, how did I come here? Is I just connected and IAM, Identity Access Management. So, this is a place where your users list, see the left hand section, user groups, users, roles, and policies. These four are very important sections. And right now, not just now, but throughout your course, especially roles and policies are very much needed for every stage. Okay, every day we have to use, right? Now, what is exactly the IAM do here is, see, when you created a root user account and connected, it is a just for a login purpose only. First time, think like a company. Say Infosys has a such a account and they have connected to login AWS, okay? But they won't use that again. Then all the employees will be created as users because every employee of Infosys they have to connect to AWS, right? So for that purpose, they will be creating users and users. So user groups is nothing but it's like group of anything. Like for example, administrators, testers, developers, or senior managers. Why? Because if you create a group and set them permission, later whenever a new employee joins in, we can add him into that particular groups. Like for example, you created DB engineers, developers, and then senior managers, and you have already set permissions what dev engineers has to do, or what senior manager has to do, what permission senior manager need, because developers may just need access to some services, testers may need access to some services as read only, or developers may need as read only. So accordingly you will define what are the permissions needed for what services it is needed, and by creating a group it will help you in avoiding redoing the work. Otherwise there are 10 developers, you need to do same set of things 10 times for each person. Instead you create a group and give whatever permissions you want to give to that group. Later whoever user comes in, create a user and add them to this user group. That way you will avoid lot of work redo. Okay, what I do, I will create a group just to show you. You can think this as, I will say something like user US admin. Okay, so now we are creating this group, and there are some policies available. So you can give administrator access based on service. You can give access. For example, there is RDS database is there. So you can see RDS data full access or RDS full access or quick site describe role or S3 bucket. You can see S3 here, S3 read only, S3 tables full access, or S3 full access. So like this, lot of services and lot of roles for it. I mean, lot of policies for it. So you need to add relevant permissions to this group. For example, these are US admin. So I'm going to give them S3 full access. Maybe because they need to access a document, or they want to write a document inside a S3 bucket. So I'm giving it to them, and I will give SNS read only access. Maybe this service they need only read only, or container, some container service also I will give. So elastic container read only role. So like this, I give some selected roles for them and then create this. Now US admin is there. So I have given permissions. If I go to the permission section, I can see what permissions I have given. I have given three permissions, three policies actually. Now time to add some users. So you can add any user into this. Okay. I will randomly add one user. Say for example, Daniel, I will add it. So now Daniel is actually US admin. So we have added him into this group. So by adding this, what will happen is if I go to the Daniel user, if I go to Daniel user and see his permissions, don't worry, there are so many things, but the reason is he is part of two groups. He is already part of developers group, and today I have added him as a US admin. So whatever three permissions US admin need to give, those are all here. So he got the three US admin roles. Some people will be working for two projects, or sometimes he is a developer and sometimes he is not a he is also a US admin. Or for simplicity, I can even remove this to avoid the confusion. I remove it. Now come back to the permission. We see exactly whatever the three permissions I have given as a group. And there is one more permission which is directly. What do you mean by that is, see, this guy is a US admin. Say, for example, he is sitting in India and he is a US admin. But at the same time, in India, he is maintaining some roles. Maybe he needs some additional access to some service. So he is part of a team. As a team, he is a US admin guy. Along with that, he is having additional responsibility. So if I am new user, a part of US admin, then I won't get this permission. I will only get these. Right? Suppose I need to add something for this user. I can always add permission, attach policy directly. So I can see, I can add something, anything as I wish. Say Alexa read only. Now he got two permissions directly.
So there are system defined roles, right? The predefined roles that we can add.
Yes. I will come to that place when I come to policies. I will explain you how to customize it. Okay. But one very simple thing is, if there is something called this, like this orange one, when I'm adding it, you can observe that. See, there is some orange box which says AWS managed, means AWS has created them. Okay? Whereas on couple of few things it is not there. Okay? So it means that someone has created, means someone like me, it is customized policy. So obviously there is a choice for you to customize any policy, or you can use directly what AWS has given.
Okay.
Now I will take you to the creating user, because that is what more helpful now. I will go to the user, create user. See, ideally, after creating a root user and coming in, see, by default, root user is an administrator. It has all the access. Okay, so that is the reason we won't suggest to use it for everything unless you are confident of using it. Right. So now the new user, provide user access to AWS console. So like this console, you want to give access to this user. Identity center is an advanced thing, which now AWS is trying to uh, recommend. It is also same purpose. There is no change at all. We recommend that you use identity center to provide console access to a person. With identity center, you can manage user access to their AWS accounts and cloud applications. That gives that user can manage the permissions. Or sometimes you can create just a IAM user when you want a programmatic access to something. Means you can think like you have a code which will access some service, right? So to that core, or for example, Jenkins. For Jenkins login, you need a credential, you need a user. So in such scenarios, you can use that. But now I am going with identity center, because identity center we need to enable it. I think we can ignore that one because it is still advanced one. I will try to create here itself. I will show that identity center later, but for now I will just create it here, because most of the times this is a old one. Like identity center is new one, still we need to enable it and do it. But for now I will go with the IAM user. So in IAM user, you can either generate a auto generate password or custom password, anything. So I'm giving some. I can. This is up to you what to do it. Now it is asking, do you want this user to be added to some group? Means as it happened in a previous scenario, if I add to US admin group, he will get whatever user admin permissions are. Any group I can attach. Maybe I will just go with developers group now. Okay. Or there is an option to copy permissions. For example, this person is actually taking role of someone who left the company. Like previously, Anand was working in this role, and this person is coming and replacing Anand. So it's very easy for you to give whatever Anand permissions are there to this person. In such scenario, you can just go to copy permissions and give whatever Anand is. This will save a lot of time for you. No need to again compare with Anand and come back. Okay? Or you can directly attach policy. For example, this guy don't have any as such and only limited number of policies. You can directly add some policies. Later also you can add policies. Not necessary that on the first day itself you need to add everything. So what I'm doing, I will just go and give what Anand is. Of course, he is also a developer group, so no problem. Now, next. So we can review it. Just create a user. Now, this will show you a username and password and a console login. Console URL. This is just a URL it is showing. And this user credentials, you can save it as a CSV file, just in case you feel uh, this username and password to be saved it somewhere. Otherwise, you can go back to the user list. Now, I will show you how to connect this thing. If I use this URL, this was the screen, right? When I was logging first time, it was asking me, should I connect as a root user? Then it was giving me user ID and password. If not,
Yes.
I can choose IAM user. So IAM user I am selecting here. Now it is asking for 12 digits account number. Later it will ask the IAM username and password. So what is the 12 digit username? Sorry, 12 digit account number is something, it is here. Or they also have given this URL here. So if I use this URL, directly that account number also will get populated. See, I'm in URL itself, I'm sending the account number. So account number is already populated. Actually, this will be the next screen of this. If I put the account number, this will be the next screen. Now I know that the username. Now I am connected as user. Now I am connected as user. Whereas in this screen, I am connected as a root user. If you are root user, it will show like this, the screen. The name will be there. Whereas if you are connected as IAM user, you will be seen as a screen like this. So if you are IAM user, you will be getting only limited permissions. So whatever permissions you have given to yourself, you would have got it.
So
Just in
you
case,
mean to say,
yeah,
whatever permissions manager gives, that only will be visible in this IAM user, correct?
yes, whatever you have given to your
Employee
n-
or the team
no
member.
user group. So whatever you set it up in the user group, that will come to the user.
Okay.
Or
So
in a
would
yeah,
so would the IAM user be able to provide access to some other users?
only if you have given that permission. See,
Okay,
for
okay, it's all
that
part of
also we have to give some permission. For
okay,
example, I will show you that. So Shreya is there. Now you want to make her as she is having administrator access here. So obviously she will be able to do it. Otherwise, there is something called IAM user also. Mm, I will show you that. Okay. But because administrator access is there, she is an admin now. You can give this.
okay.
But there is a policy. We can attach a policy for it, but I will come there. Okay. So this is the thing. And very importantly, I just need to go further. Shreya is there. Permission, whatever permissions she have. See, okay. One ground rule I tell you. If you don't know something, okay, you can always go to documentation, verify it, and they will give instructions what to do. Even in when you are working, right? No one knows all the things. Even I don't remember all the permissions which are there. So when I am doing it, I get some doubt, so I will verify the documentation. For example, you asked a question. If I know it or if I have done previously, I can easily get it done here. Otherwise, I will go to AWS documentation and verify it. What is the suggestion given by AWS documentation? So I will follow the same things. Anything, don't hesitate to go to documentation. Not just here. Say any service you are using and you have got some doubt onto how to set up the things. Just go and verify the document. That gives you the process to follow and right method to get it done. Now, so permission groups are okay. There is something called tags. The tags is very important in AWS. You take any service, it will have a tag section. And the purpose of tag is it will help you to classify the things. For example, this Shreya, you are adding two tags. You can add any tag. She belongs to the project Flipkart. So you gave two tags to her. Now, suppose there are so many employees and a senior management want to identify who are all the people inside a project Flipkart, or you want to give permissions to a service to all the people who belong to the project Flipkart, or you want to give permission to this menu for only people with user as role senior manager, or even your management or someone in your manager, they want to see the bill generated by the all services in AWS with the tags project equal to Flipkart. So all these purposes, it's very easy for you to group things. That is the reason tags is there for each and every section. I mean, you take any service in AWS, it will have a tag. It will help you to control permissions. because uh, even when you are giving policies or some permissions, you can select this condition. You only give permissions to project equal to Flipkart. So tags are very important, but it's not mandatory. I mean, when we are practicing, no need to go and give tags for everything. Just you understand that tags is needed, and that's enough. Now, security credentials. Here is the place where you can control additional permissions. Okay, that URL which I was talking about is here again. You can change the passwords and you, in future. Then you can enable multi-factor authentication like Google Authenticator or anything. You can go and assign some MFA device here. Access keys. This is very, very important. I told you we can access AWS console from uh, command line interface, right? AWS CLI. So how do you connect to this account? I'm saying here, I'm on command prompt. To which AWS account I need to connect, right? I wrote some command and it executed. Okay, see, I said AWS S3 LS. The meaning is list out my buckets in AWS. This is the command meaning. Okay, and again, for all commands, you can go ahead and check the documentation. Okay, so the CLI command I am executing, how which account it is connecting to. For example, I may have 2, 3 AWS accounts. From my command prompt to which account it gets created. Okay, so that is all controlled by access keys. So many people who are especially in automation, they prefer a CLI usage than the console access. And moreover, in down the road, there are places where we use both, because CLI command is very easy, right? Just we need to write a command once and it will happen. For example, for creating user, may have so you can again as usual you can go to the documentation and create user. What they say, AWS, I am create user, username Bob. I can just copy. See, Sushmita got create. Sushmita, I got a response saying Sushmita has been created. And if I go to my console, go to the user list, yes, Sushmita got created. Same I can do with assigning user or assigning to a group. I did not give any group assignment, so that's the reason it did not get anything. It was just empty. Nothing is given. But if we dig in, you get lot. You can give some hyphen hyphen path, or you can give an hyphen hyphen tags. So tags also will get created. Now to get this AWS CLI, first thing you need to do is you install AWS CLI first. So you need to install AWS CLI and just check with this command so that if you get this response, AWS CLI is installed. Okay.
Yep.
So
So,
once it is, yeah.
on a real, a real time project environment, like
Mm.
if you're working for any company, which interface users you will be using? Is it the command line prompt or the console on the AWS itself?
No, you will have both. It
I
again,
mean, which one is preferred, or which one is mostly used?
it's not about preferring. Okay. It's sometimes it's mandatory and sometimes it's preference. Okay. Okay. See, you are given sometimes people just want to create through a command line interface, because once I write a command, for example, I am a user, I'm given responsibility of creating users. Okay, what I do is I will write a line like this with all the permissions and everything. I will create it once. Okay, next time when I come in, I will just run it every time. Correct, just I will change the names and do it. That is very easy. But sometimes some people are very much comfortable in going here and creating it. So that's
Oh,
their individual choice. Again, sometimes as we go in some services like Open Search, where I want to upload a document, there also you will have an interface where I can upload document, or I can use a CLI command directly to give the permission or modify something. It's very easy with CLI. Certain things are easy with CLI. But especially people who are in automation, right? They prefer CLI, because in automation they won't even log in into here. They need to execute this script. So, for example, I want to automate a process which will create users, right? So then I need to use this, because automation can't come into AWS and do it. So if I write this command, that script will run it and it will automatically generate a user. Or take it as a open search upload document. There is an upload document, upload button in your application which has to upload the document. There, how do you specify console, going to console? That you can't do it. There you need to provide a CLI command. You understood, right? So
yeah,
it
yeah, got
depends
it.
on where you want to use CLI. Where, suppose you are running pipelines. In pipelines, obviously I need to go to a CLI command. So it's better if you are comfortable, just practice here and there the commands. My suggestion. I mean, I don't want you to be completely unaware of a CLI command. Just have some taste of it, and of course, wherever it is needed, we are going to use it. Just take another example also. Now I am sitting in front of laptop. I just want to know what is the name of my one of the S3 bucket. So what is that I have to do in a normal scenario? I have to go here, go to S3 screen, go here and find what is that S3 bucket name. Correct? Instead, if I am comfortable with commands, sorry, shit. Now how easy it is. I don't even go into AWS also, correct? I just can verify the name of the bucket here. Agree?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's all with your comfort, like what you want. Certain things are good here, certain things are good there. So anything. See, even
Okay.
I show you some other thing. My case also. Certain things, I create some CLI commands with myself, because uh, not everything is like. sometimes I need to create a user just to test purpose. For that case, or need to create a easy to install just for some testing purpose. Then I have no need to go into front end and see everything, create all the options and all, because I just need a basic thing. So I will just write this command. It keeps on creating. Meantime, I will do my work and then go there and access it. So you can do as your comfort. But certain places you have to use AWS CLI only. No other way. So I would suggest you install AWS CLI and configure it. Now that is the main step. How do you configure your command prompt into your AWS account? Right? For that you need first you need to install and verify AWS version. So AWS CLI is there. Then you write AWS configure. This is one-time process. Means once you set your command line interface with your AWS, you are there. That's all. See, now that is the reason now whenever I am running this, I will be connected to the my AWS account. So when I hit AWS configure, it is asking for AWS access key. So where do you get that access key from? Is IAM user security credentials access keys. You need to generate it first time. It is not by default the access key is there. Okay. So you need to create an access key for a purpose of CLI command. See, it has created one access key and secret access. You should download this CSV file. Otherwise, you can't remember this. It won't come again. When secret access key, it won't come again. Once you missed out now by clicking done, you can't see this combination again. Okay. One more best practice is be careful where you are saving this CSV file. For example, your access key and secret access key, I got to know. Okay. What will happen is I can use these details and connect from any of the command laptops to your account. So, and I create everything, the bill will come to you. So that is the reason I'm not showing you. Okay. So you can download it, download your CSV file, but remember these two values. Okay. You just need to enter here. First, it is asking for access key. So blah, 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 this. So just copy and paste this. After that, secret access key it will ask. So that secret access key. After that, you just, it is saying that your default region is AP Southwest. It's okay for you. It's okay for you. Then done. So you are connected. After you got connected, you can just try with some any command. Any command to check that you are able to access. Done. And one more purpose of this access key and secret access key is some you are on Jenkins pipeline and Jenkins has to give Jenkins needs a permission to AWS portal. So then this access key and secret access key you need to give it there in the Jenkins portal. Or programmatic access also. In your code, through code you are accessing something in AWS. Then you can give your access key and secret access. So basically, this will help you in connecting programmatically. And just by choice, or sorry, by chance, you created your access key and you have a doubt that someone has seen this or any such thing, you can always deactivate it. Just go here, deactivate or delete it. Because you don't want someone handle it or misuse it. So you can delete it and create a new one also. So deactivate and then delete. Gone. If you want, you can create new one. See, you can have two access keys at a time. Means you can create one more also. But this is very important. Whenever you need some permission for a user or anything, you can come here through code also. Now, AWS code commit is the pipeline section. So when you need AWS code commit permission, similar to here, you can generate these keys and use it in the code commit. Code commit is a code repository used in AWS, just like GitHub. Then for Apache Cassandra, this is for Amazon key spaces. So complete this section, you have all the access keys and secret access keys. Means wherever access scenarios are there, you have to come here and set it up. So you want to authenticate Apache Cassandra, then you need to come here and generate it and then use it in the portal. Or you are signing some certificates, you can come in here. Okay, so these are the things you have here, and then I will jump to roles. Okay, now these two are very important, roles and policies, because down the road we are going to do all these things. Users, okay, it's one time only. Okay, but roles and policies are something like you have to keep doing it. What is the purpose of this role is, okay, you want to connect to a service or you want to log into somewhere. If you are a human like user, you will enter username and password and authenticate. But if it is a machine, how do you suppose if there is a virtual machine or server and it has to authenticate itself into some database? How can this go and do it? It doesn't have any capability to enter username and password. Correct? Or you want to give read-only access to S3 bucket for your program. So your application is deployed here, and this application has to go and access S3 bucket, read-only or write a full access or whatever. But how this can go and perform some action? So in such scenarios, for a non-human scenarios, we will create roles. So role is also just like creating your user, but the role will be attached. So you need to create a role and attach to wherever you want to attach or whichever service you want to attach. So roles and policies are together. Role, policy. Policy will define exactly what you want that person or that service to do. I mean, what permissions you have to give, what is the limitations. For example, you see some IT, I mean, IT company, right? Big, lot of people, lot of employees are there. Okay? If you observe, certain people will go to the 7th floor, and some people can go to the 10th floor. Where means with the tag, they are giving permissions, right? Tag and access card. That is what makes them to enter into it. Even in your company, your company is the 10th floor. All the employees can go inside. Okay, but to the server room, only few people can go, or to pantry, only guests can go. So if any guest is coming and we are giving them an access card, guest access card or visitor card. So do you think that visitor card will have permission into your office base? I mean your workplaces? No. That visitor will have only permissions into meeting rooms or the pantry. Even in your staff, server room access is given to only people who are working in servers or who goes into the server room. Not everyone, right? Because anyone can go inside and take something. It's not like that. So why they have managed those many things is because the security is very, very important. Remember one rule, ground rule, you should give always a minimum permission to any person or any service, because you both are working on data, okay, especially data. Unnecessary permission you should not give at all. Just that you don't know, don't give them administrator rights. You need to analyze what exactly this guy is going to do. Is he having a work of inserting data into the database, or there is a folder you want to give permission? You should clearly think whether this Anand, whoever is working now, is he only going to write files inside it or read files only, or he is going to modify the files? Why? Because if you say, for example, for his role, he just has to read the file. Read the file means he can't create a new file or he can't delete a file. If file is there, he can read the data. That's the only role he has to do. Okay. So what you did is you gave him, there are files, and by mistake, instead of giving him a read only, you gave full access. And what this guy has done, he went there just like this. Okay, he is there here. By mistake, his cursor was here and he hit a delete button. Now file is getting deleted now. Gone. File is gone. Now in down the road, when such a scenario happens and it gets escalated, they are going to ask first question. Anand is not supposed to delete a file. But why he deleted? First of all, he should not have rights to delete. How come he got a right to delete? Now question will come to you. Who gave permissions to this guy? So you gave it. And you will be questioned. You should give read only, right? Why you gave full access? So now compared to the person who made a mistake, because you gave wrong permission, you are at risk. Your job at risk. Sometimes client gets to know that some data leak is there and some file got deleted or transferred or something, they will screw you. So always remember exactly when you are handling data, you exactly know what is the exact permissions has to be given. If you don't know, check 2-3 times and do it. Just because you don't have time or you don't really know it, don't give administrator access or full access. Because if they do mistake, you are gone. Because auditing will happen on this. The AWS auditors or auditing team will be there who will audit what are the supposed permissions for a particular role and what is the current role. I mean, what is the current permission? If any slippage is there or someone has been given a wrong permission, they get to know. There are tools which will notify them. Look, all the developers are having only read only. One developer is having a write access. So in AWS, there are some services which will point out there is something wrong in this. Okay. So be careful. And when you are writing a policy, okay, creating role is okay, but writing a policy is important. The creating role is just saying that a visitor ID card or visitor access card. But what is actually matters is what is written inside a access card. Now that is a policy. So inside policy, you are going to write whatever you need. So writing policy is really important thing. The policy section is here. I will show you. You won't get the comfort of writing policy or mastering writing policy in a first class, because this we keep on doing in every class almost. Wherever we go, we have to do something. So you will learn step by step. But at least you know how to write a policy. Or AWS has already given some policies. You can just use your right policy there. If you feel AWS policy will give you the purpose of what you are looking for, just use that policy. You create a role and attach that policy. That's it. But if it is not giving you what you are expecting or you want to customize on top of it, then you need to write your own policy also. Writing policy is not really easy, or it's not really a difficult one also. It's mixed, I mean, with your expertise or with your experience, you get to learn more. Okay. But initially, let's say, for example, you need to create a S3 bucket policy. So what are the ways to do it? Already S3 bucket policy will be there in AWS. Already AWS has given a S3 full access policy or S3 read only access. One way to do it is you use directly S3 bucket policy, read only access, which is given by AWS. But maybe you may have a doubt. In future, I may customize this S3 bucket access. So safety thing is you create exactly a S3 bucket read only access policy with the same rules for now. Later you customize it. Now how to do it is just go here. You can, this is summary of just what is allowed and what is not allowed. Same thing you want to see it in a JSON format. You can see this JSON. So in JSON format, these are the things you see it. I will explain what are these things. But if you want to customize that policy, just copy these things. Come to policy section. Now I want to create a policy. Create a policy. For which service it is? S3 service. See, it is actually giving me all the options to select whatever permissions. This is one method of doing it. See, allow. I will keep this notepad open just to show you. It has few things. Version is standard. The same number you have to use. What important is effect, allow, effect, action, and resource. Effect is, are you giving permission or are you denying permission? Action is for what action? So you know that you are giving it for S3 bucket. So in S3 bucket, for what actions you are giving permission? You said allow, right? For what actions? Next, resources to whom? If particular user or particular service you are giving, you can specify that service information. Or if you want everyone to be given, say star. You write star there. Now, one way to do it is you copied this and just go into the JSON and paste it like this. Means you found some policy already that you want to copy paste it, directly you can do it. Otherwise, you want to create on your own, for example, or you want to create on your own, create a policy for which service is S3 bucket, and they are giving one by one. If you see for which service, effect, allow or deny, allow. Okay. Now it is giving S3 action. So many are there, right? Read, write, delete, list. So many are there. Now in that I am going to pick uh, get object. Get object is only reading object. See, no one will remember all these things by in mind. Okay, everyone will come here and see them and select. Okay, and now for whom? All are specific users. So if I say all, it is star. And there are additional conditions also. I will explain you them later. But for now, it's okay. Now, yes, three. read access. Okay. So I will create a policy. So where is that? I think if I search now, see, I got my policy and there is no orange symbol there. For example, I have written this policy and I can later modify it. For example, action S3 bucket get object is there. I need to add something else. I can easily do like this. See, okay, there is something else, right? I need this. Edit. It got I got it something syntax error. So I need to check the syntax properly. So I need this brackets because that time it was only one. So now I add some additional permission because initially when I started it was only one permission was there. Later we are developing the project. It needs to add further. Now that I have created a policy, now that I created a policy, now I need to create a role and attach this policy. It is like you created access card permissions now. Now you need to assign these permissions to someone. So I will go to role, create a role. Here again, for AWS service or for AWS account or anything, in this account, what is the scope of this? Everything. I can just select here. Now I can attach that policy. Select that policy. See, I got the same permissions which I have written. So Anand role is created. Now I can add some more permissions. See, currently only one policy is given. I can add more number of policies. Attach policy. I can say this one, this policy. Anything I can use. So now after I do these things, so this I have created one role, right? Now this I have to attach to some service. That is the purpose, right? What I said, the purpose of role is not for human. It is for something else. Of course, you can attach this to another user also, but this is dedicated to some services. So there is a virtual machine, there is a EC2 instance, there is a open search service is there or Lambda function is there. You need to attach this role to that. So in the next class, when we create a EC2 instance, we are going to attach this role to that EC2 instance. So these permissions you will get to that EC2 instance. Means if you deploy some code in that EC2 instance, that will get these permissions. And don't worry, the permissions and policies won't end today. It will keep on coming. Wherever we go, we get these. So it will be our you know day-to-day things to write these policies. I mean, not day to day, but whenever we have some changes, we need to write that permission. I will show you few more ways tomorrow to begin with. There is a policy generator. I think I showed you in our demo, right? I will do that in S3 bucket class. But tomorrow we will start with creating virtual machines or EC2 instances and assigning these things. Okay.
Okay.
So what we can do, can I take class tomorrow also, because I can't take on Friday and Saturday. I'm a little bit occupied. Can I take class tomorrow and then later Sunday? Is that fine for you? Or what do
Yeah,
you say?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine.
See, I keep you think. I tell you, whenever we have availability, we just keep on moving. And yeah, sometimes I'm busy on Thursdays. And just wanted to ask, is there any other suitable time other than this one? Because this is 7 a.m. for me. At least, I mean, I'm okay for sometimes, but sometimes alternative time. Just if we have any
Okay.
other than 7 a.m. something else. I mean, your morning time something.
Anytime I'm available whole day. I'm just keep on practicing this, whatever you say. So I'll
Okay.
be
Okay,
It's
but
not possible for me.
no problem.
Yeah,
Hmm,
I have a
got
work
it.
in the morning. Yeah.
No problem. See, I just ask it so that not every day it's possible for us for same time, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.